Hello, and welcome to the Expansion and Access Grant Reporting tutorial. Today we're going to cover the information that will be included in the job aid to help you complete your Expansion and Access Grant report. Okay, as we get started, there's just a few things to note about the reports. Reports will need to be completed every 6 months until you exhaust all funding. The portal will open at the beginning of each month and close at the end of the month to allow for completion of the report. And all reports must be completed through the portal. As you're in the portal completing your report, you may notice some things as you're making your way through. Hyperlinks will appear in light blue, and that is links to provide additional information or navigation through the reporting. Anything marked with an asterisk will need to be entered. It is required information. The radio buttons, which look like little circles, are used to select from lists of items. And the information gathered in the reports are used to help plan for future programs and grants. Some other things you might notice as you're making your way through the report is one thing would be the error screen. That will show if you have not entered information properly or if a document is not uploaded. The next button is used to help you advance to the next section, whereas the previous button is used to go back. So if you wanted to review past information, you can go back using the previous button. The submit button is used to save updated information. The start new session button is used when you want to log back in. If you've been logged out of a session and you want to pick back up where you left off, you can use the start new session button. And then the status progression bar at the bottom of the screen shows your progression through the benefit program. So as you get started, you're going to want to log into the portal. So starting on the NCID page, you will enter your NCID username and your password and click NCID login. If you need to create a user ID and password, please refer to the Creating and Linking Your NCID job aid. Next, the home page will display, and you will see a list there of all the facilities linked to your NCID. It will include the account name, facility type, license number, unique location ID for each facility. If you note something that is not correct or if you see some errors, please contact the DCDEE customer service team at 1-800-859-0829 or 919-814-6300. Or you can email at dcdee_support@dhhs.nc.gov. When you're finished with your session, you would want to exit out of the application. So you're going to click on the NCID username located at the top right of your screen, and then you're going to select Log Out from the drop-down menu. In order to start your report, you're going to start on the home page, and you're going to click on the facility's account name to begin the process for that facility. If you have multiple facilities that have received the grant, you will need to complete a separate report for each facility shown. Then, as you click on it, the account page will display. The provider account, benefit program name, license details, and payments are shown there. Review the information on this page to make sure that everything is accurate. Under the benefit program name column, click the Expansion and Access Grants hyperlink. And then the benefit program page will display. Click Next. You can log out at any time and return if you need more time to complete the report. When you do, the benefit program page will display and you'll click the Start New Session button to resume your reporting application. There are a variety of expenses that are qualified under this grant, and each of those expenses are listed here. The building and real estate category is for real estate purchase in the form of building structures, and it is as a result of grant funding. Classroom supplies or materials are materials used in the classroom to enhance instruction or classroom organization. Curriculum is the purchase of new curriculum materials, training, or software related to curriculum. Indoor renovations or improvement is construction for the purpose of creating, upgrading, or adding on to a childcare facility. Facility maintenance is routine maintenance to keep facility in good working order or repair. Furniture purchased for the use of childcare facilities can be used in classrooms, offices, or common areas. Land can also be purchased as a result of the grant funding. Outdoor improvements include construction, renovations, or enhancements performed in outdoor areas, not to include playground equipment. Playground equipment would be reported separately, and that includes play structures, materials, toys, and equipment used for outdoor purposes. Professional development is training to improve the quality of services, work skills, or competencies of employees. Renovation materials are materials used for the construction purposes. Staffing and payroll is grant funding used to pay wages and/or benefits. Vehicle purchase is a vehicle that is purchased for use of transportation of students to and from the childcare facility. Vehicle repairs is routine maintenance performed on company-owned vehicle. Vehicle expenses can be used or can be a part of startup costs for a new facility only. New childcare centers may use grant funds towards the full cost of a van, bus, or other transport vehicle. New family childcare homes may use towards 30% of the purchase of a vehicle. So when you get into the expense section of the report, you will see the list of acceptable expenses listed there. And you will note that there are 3 categories listed at the bottom of the screen. If you do not find your expense category there, you would say yes, that you have other expenses to report. And please note that questions are based on the facility license type at the time of the initial application. You will also notice the remaining funds tally at the bottom of the screen that will keep track of the expenses and the remaining funds left over, and we will cover that later in this section. When you enter your expenses, the following steps to enter acceptable forms of payments and purchases will take place. First, you will be asked what expenses you had during this reporting period. For each category, you will be entering a value in each box. You will also be asked if you have received a license number, and you would answer the question yes or no. Questions that follow depend on the selection made. If you select yes, you will be prompted to enter your license number. If no is selected, then you will move on to enter your expenses. And it will look a little bit like this. So in each box, you will enter the appropriate expense total for each category. Notes while you're entering expenses. Questions and data entry field will vary depend on your license status and your license type. Numerical values should be entered in each data field. Please enter a 0 if there is not any expense for that category. Cash payments are not acceptable forms of payments for this grant. Click yes next to the question, do you have any other expenses to report, when you see there is not an appropriate category for your expense. Enter the applicable information in the entry field. The amount entered will subtract from the remaining funds tally. Remaining funds 0 will display when the amount enters equals the total amount of the grant. The expenses entered are more than the grant will display if you have entered expenses that exceed your grant amount. After you enter each expense category, then you will be prompted to upload supporting documentation to go along with your expenses. You have a minimum of one document to enter, and you could enter multiple. The acceptable forms of documentation are purchase documents, invoices, itemized receipts, contracts or work agreements, or quotes. An error message will appear if there is not a complete upload. So you will get an error message if the upload was not successful. As you enter your expenses into the reporting system, it is tracking your remaining funds. After you finish uploading your expenses for the reporting period, you will be asked to account for any unspent funds. You will need to enter a breakdown of your remaining funds and how you plan to spend them. So this is what the unspent funds section looks like, and it will give you the total based on the expenses that you have entered for the reporting period. And then you will be asked to upload your plan for the unspent funds. And this section only appears if you have remaining funds. Then after you upload that document, please take a moment to review everything and make sure that it is correct, because this will be the last place that you will see the previous button to be able to make changes to your report. If everything looks accurate, then you will hit the Save and Continue button. When you complete the report with remaining funds, this is what the screen will look like after you move on, after you submit everything. The benefit program page displays, and then you will click Finish. The completion message for the report displays, and the ENA grants application displays a status of submitted, and then you will click OK. And then once that is finished, you're able to log out. So you will click the NCID username located at the top right corner, and then select Log Out from the drop-down menu. If you complete your report and there are 0 remaining funds, there are a list of questions that you will get to signal that it is the end of your project. You will click the appropriate answer under each question using the radio buttons. You will select yes or no for either question. Again, the questions will vary based on the facility's type at the time of application. And then once you complete the questionnaire, the benefit program page displays and you will click Finish. The completion message will display, and the ENA grants application displays a status of submitted, and then you will click OK. And then once that's finished, you're able to log out because you have completed your report by clicking on your NCID username, selecting Log Out from the drop-down menu. And as you're moving through the report, if you ever need a reference, the job aid is located in the portal for your reference as you are completing your report. And if you have any questions during that time, you can contact the DCDEE Customer Service Unit at 1-800-859-0829 or 919-814-6300 or at DCDEE_support@dhhs.nc.gov. Thank you.